Hey everyone, welcome to the video. I hope you're good. So recently we've been talking a lot about the new Saints Row for obvious reasons. So today we're going to take a look back. We're going to look at Saints Row 2 and 3. And we're just going to talk about things that 3 didn't have that 2 did have. Because it's safe to say Saints Row 3 is a downgrade. As much as I love that game to bits, it's an obvious downgrade. It's missing a lot of features. It's missing a lot of things. And it doesn't make it a bad game, but it does possibly make it a worse game. So today we're going to just discuss about things that Saints Row 2 had that 3 doesn't have, and why it made Saints Row 2 a better game and a more loved game in the franchise. So, let's get into it. Now look, I can sit here and point at the obvious things, but one bit of point to that, you all know where Saints Row 3 falters. I want to talk about the smaller things, the lesser known things, the little features that to me made the game a little worse in Saints Row 3, and what made Saints Row 2 better. So, I'm just going to get the two main ones out of the way. Map and story. Saints Row 2's map and story is just better. It's objectively better no matter which way you look at it. Stillwater's great, and so is the story that goes around it. It's fantastic, so glad that's out the way so we can actually get onto the cool features. Now, one personal thing I always missed was eating, drinking, and doing drugs and alcohol and stuff in Saints Row. All these weird things that are really small to most people, I missed a lot in the future games. It was really dumb, but I remember being like younger and just messing around, like eating and shit, and pretending that Saints Row was real life. Really dumb, I know, but it's something that they could have added back because it was a useful feature. And it made the whole healing system feel a bit more, not realistic, because obviously you don't eat a burger and instantly become, like, you know, safe from being shot. But you know what I mean. It kind of made it feel a little more, like, down to earth and, like, real in a way. And it felt like the food had a purpose. Whereas healing in, like, Saints Row 3, you're just waiting. And then healing in Saints Row 4, you're collecting these blue little thingies. So, to me, I would have much preferred, like, food, alcohol, drugs to stay in the game. Because I had a blast doing them, especially with activities like Fight Club. I mean, you just, you know, what can you do? I mean, the game was just so much, like, cooler back then, I think. Having all these niche little features, it's like the attention to detail was so much higher. And it's something I definitely missed in the future games. Another thing that wasn't in 3 but was in 2 was layered clothing. Now, with the rumours of it coming back, this isn't too big of a point, obviously, because I'm happy it's back. But layered clothing really made your character your own. You didn't feel like you had to just choose from a set of, like, pre-made options, essentially. It just felt like you could do what you want. You could change every single thing about your clothing, and it made the game feel so much more like real life. Now, Saints Row has never tried to be super realistic, has it? Let's be real. That's not what Saints Row is. But I do like it when it takes the fun elements and also keeps some grounded elements like that lets you, like, purely just create your own character the way you want. And that's something I could 100% appreciate for Saints Row, and I'd argue it's one of the best things about Saints Row is its customization. And the fact that they removed that in 3 was definitely a bit of a, just like a, what the fuck, like, you did it for the past 2, you did it on your first game, so surely it should just be improving, but no, they went a different way with it, and I don't hate the way we went with it, because to be honest, there's a lot more options in the newer games, but still, it did feel like with the removal of layered clothing, you just lost another bit of, like, your customization freedom there. And it just felt like you're a bit more limited than you were in the previous games. But, you know, like I said, it's on its way back. So, yeah, I'll be greatly happy to see its return. I'll tell you that much. I can't wait for it. But, yeah, that's a good point, I think. And I really wish that they did bring it back in the newer games. But, let's move on to the next one anyway. Now, here's one I think not a lot of people talk about when moving between games. Because this one is purely subjective. So, if you disagree with me here, that's completely fine. This one's just purely opinionated based. And, you know, it's completely fine to disagree with this one. But for me, I feel like the weapon selection in 2 was so much better than 3. Like, I felt like the weapons were a lot, like, cooler and just better, in my opinion. Like, you have stuff like the Vice 9, which is, like, iconic. And then you have the Shepherd that's just a bit, you know what I mean? Then you have, like, the revolver, and then you have that, like, weird Desert Eagle-looking pistol. Sorry, I can't remember names. It's been a while. And to me, I just feel like Saints Row 3's weapons weren't as good. I mean, obviously you were missing very suspicious long bats. But besides that, it felt like some weapons were just not great in 3. That's not a bad thing. I don't think the weapons were bad at all. And I think 3 does have some of my favourite weapons. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the AK in 3. Really weird, I know, but you know, like the AK weapon, I forgot what it's called, because it has like a weird name, starts with K. But I quite like that design. I think it's a pretty cool looking gun. And I would take that over the AK in 2. But I do think that 2 had a much better selection of weapons. And again, it's something that felt like a bit of a downgrade in 3. Now, I think it's a surprise to no one that the gangster tone in Saints Row 3 was missing. I don't think it was completely gone. We have Saints Row 4 to thank for that. But it was definitely missing for a certain, like, level. Like, it really wasn't just there where it was in 2. And that's not what I'm talking about. But I think one thing we also lost there, well, two things really. We lost the Saints' use of, like, the purple colour. It feels like a lot of the time the Saints didn't really wear purple that much. I mean, Oleg had, like, the purple shirt. They had, like, essence of purple. But then you look back on the other characters, and it's like, where's the purple going? I feel like Gap was the, like, best-looking Saint out of 3, and he dies 5 seconds into the fucking game. So, you know, it's kind of like, it felt like we lost the purple tone. I mean, I don't think it was completely gone, though, so that's a good thing. But one thing I do think was completely gone was any form of gangster, like, sounding language. Like, I'm not saying that they didn't swear. It's not like some PG shit, you know what I mean? But, like, to me, it just feels like that Saints Row lost its overall, like, attitude. And that's not a bad thing. It just changed, as all games do. But, yeah, I definitely feel like in Saints Row 3, it lost the whole gangster way of speaking, which was something I didn't really pick up on until playing 2 recently. But yeah, 3 definitely lost, like, not the gangster tone, because the game is just a different tone, we know that, but the way the characters speak is completely different to how they did in 2. And I think it was a downgrade, personally. I do miss how they spoke in 2. So yeah, another little small downgrade that probably affects nobody but me. Here's another one, since I've got quite a lot to go through here. Cheats. What happened to cheats? Like, honestly, it felt like cheats was so downgraded, and it was something that went completely under the radar to most players, because I know that myself included, I don't really use cheats that much, but I went to just, like, Google fun cheats, and there were just none. There was just no fun cheats in Saints Row 3. It was stuff just like, oh, get car, here's money, here's respect. And it's like, where are the fun cheats? Where are the ones that make you, like, massive? Where are the ones that make you tiny? I hope that in the reboot, if we have cheats, that they're good, and they actually have fun aspects to them, because a lot of people, like, it feels like Volition thinks that we use cheats to just get further into the game, which I don't. I use them for fun moments, you know what I mean? So, I don't want them to just be like, oh, well, here's every car in the game if you type in a certain, like, number. Like, I don't want that. I would much prefer having fun cheats that people can sit there and explore through the game, you know what I mean? And have, like, a blast with them. Like, the one that makes you tiny was so funny. I remember that so, like, specifically. So, where did it go? I feel like there was 100% a downgrade in cheats from 2 to 3, and 3 is heavily lacking in cheats, if you ask me. And last but not least, and this one is a huge one for me, and it was actually a huge reason why I couldn't stand Saints Row 3 at times. What happened to boss fights? Now, I understand that for Saints Row to be realistic to a certain degree, boss fights make no sense, especially in 2. But seriously, they were some of the coolest shit in Saints Row 2. Like, 100%, definitely some of the coolest missions were from the boss fights. Like, when I was going around that mall chasing, what's his face? I forgot his name, sorry. The guy from Some Sandy. I forgot his name yesterday as well. But you're chasing that guy around the mall, shooting him, and that's so fucking epic. And, the General, that's his name, see? I knew I'd remember it. Like, that's such a cool mission. And then you got, like, all these just cool-ass missions with these cool boss fights. Like, the other Some Sandy guy, what's his name? Fuck, why am I forgetting him? Mr. Sunshine. We have to shoot the voodoo doll. God, I'm awful with names today. And then you also have Shogo. That's a huge one, you know what I mean? You have Akuji, which is, oh, that fucking samurai sword fight's so sick. You know what I mean? It's like, whatever happened to that, you know what I mean? To me, I just really wish they came back. And I don't know if they ever will. But rumour has it they might be coming back, because I may have spotted something in one of my videos that kind of hinted at it, but we're not going to talk about that. But yeah, I think that we could definitely do a boss fights coming back, which they might be. And that'd be really cool. Anyway, there's still a ton of things I want to say, but I don't want this video to drone on for too long about me just rambling about things that are bad. So I'm just going to put them all on screen for you at the end of the video, as just in a list format, so have fun reading that. Anyway, thank you for watching. Support's been crazy as always. And I'll see you all later, guys. Stay safe. I love you. And goodbye.